situation going. If I'm playing with Julian Lage, for example, I'm actually
Yeah, I wanted to say that. Yeah.
very free and very relaxed. And I have a feeling a lot of people say this about playing with Julian, but in the case of our duo specifically, there's just some sort of weird and wondrous, inexhaustible kind of chemical thing that happens. And so I can't play like that with anybody else. It's like it just doesn't. I have virtually no inhibitions as far as what ideas I try when I play with Julian. He inspires me to go as far as I can go,
Mhm.
but also we've limited the palette, the sonic palette, by issuing all effects pedals and things like that when we play duo, and
Yeah.
that's very liberating as well. In the quartet, in the Nels Cline 4, so called, yeah, we had some a little bit of overdrive, a little compressor, maybe a little reverb,
Yeah.
but also once again, music based on those individuals in my mind, anyway. I mean, initially the quartet with Julian and me, and what ended up being with Tom and Scott Colley
Scott.
on the
Yeah.
recording, was really the idea. The idea was to have it be co-led. Just it would just be an extension of our duo with the
Yeah.
rhythm section. But it just became too complicated to try to identify it, and with people's record labels and all this kind of stuff. So basically, just became my thing, and then I just wrote the music for
Yeah.
those people. You know.
No, but it's beautifully mentioned, Julian. I listened to Room today, and it's
Ah,
I don't know, kind of like this Ralph Townerish, John Abercrombie
oh, totally. I mean, from my
style came
perspective,
into my ear, like because and how you play, and it's like, and him also, Julian, he plays so different than on his records with you. It's like really like, man, where does this come from? I
well,
love
the,
that
the
stuff.
playing, the playing on Room in Julian's case, I think harkens to his earliest records. When he was
Yeah.
playing the Linda Manzer guitar, and it was just a different thing when he started embracing the Telecaster and he started like his own trio. uh yeah, I think he had a realization about what kind of language he wanted to explore, not just sonically or compositionally, but also just kind of emotionally. I guess it's pretty upbeat. I mean, Julie's just an incredible
Oh
human, but
man, yeah. Yeah.
but for me, definitely, like the Towner Abercrombie thing's always going to be there. I mean, that was just I saw those guys play duo many times, and was friendly with those guys because I was like the complete nervous nerd, always like trying to talk to my heroes, but also being too scared, which is kind of like a weird passive aggressive thing if I look back on it. You know what I mean? It's like I'm standing there trying not to be noticed, yet I'm being super noticeable standing there, looking super needy and geeky, and they were really nice to me. So, I mean, they kind of poked fun at me a couple of times because I was just so incredibly awkward, but at the same time, obviously, I wasn't going away. I was going to stand there and bug them. So yeah, that language is crucial, but also so many guitar duos. I mean, just even if you think of jazz guitar duos, it's that information is really, really in my head because I've
Mm.
listened to so many of those. Like the John Scofield, John Abercrombie record is fantastic.
Solar,
Uh,
that one, man, that's killing.
that's got some rhythm section stuff on it too, but
Yeah.
but also like well, in Los Angeles, I would hear Joe Pass and Herb Ellis, who were just such a fantastic duo. Um, uh, Joe Puma and Chuck Wayne duo. I used to listen to all this stuff
Mm.
in the 70s, particularly when there were lots of recordings like this, and people were actually willing to put them out. So,
Yeah.
you could buy a lot of recordings of duets, and I love duo stuff,
Mm.
uh, acoustic bass and any instrument, duo. I'm down. I love duos. Uh,
It's like
anyway.
Ron Carter and Jim Hall, those ones.
Oh
Like,
man, of
that's
course.
amazing, right?
Actually, Chris Lightcap and I play "Receipt Please" when we play duo
Really? Oh wow,
on
man.
the "Alone Together" record.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that record, you could tell they were playing so softly that you can't get the audience out of the mix. They're like barely playing it's like one half a dB.
Yeah, it's scary how
When I
quiet he
first heard
played.
it, when I first heard it, it was a new record, and it was just this kind of like, rock and roll refugee, coming out of blues rock and
Yeah,
psychedelic rock, and then getting interested in progressive rock and jazz and what was later called fusion. Um, these kinds of sonic entities are etched, like, deeply in there, and I feel like I still just mine the same stuff over and over again since those days that I was first absorbing these things.